I don't really like it when people say that they want peace, or that they want less wars, or that they want to end world hunger, or that they want to end any of the social ills that beset the human race at this time and throughout history, because it's almost always followed up with, but this instance was okay. For example, I have a lot of liberal friends who wish we would pull out of Iran, Afghanistan, and who wished we would pull out of Vietnam. Their parents wished they would pull out of Vietnam. Their parents passed liberal values onto them. Now they believe we should pull out of Iran, Afghanistan, the Middle East in general, except for one place, and that's Israel. They believe that Israel is supporting a form of apartheid and that we have to be there to fix it. They believe that we should have interfered in South Africa because we have the ability to interfere. We have the ability to right this social ill. But what they fail to realize is that by condemning war from a standpoint of war is morally bad, and suggesting that America use its force, its tool of war, to eradicate social ills that are also immoral from another part of the world, all they're doing is saying, I don't want this particular part of the world to face this particular sort of justice for this particular moral injustice they may have committed. I would prefer this other part of the world be punished with the same tool for a different social ill, even if the social ill is very similar. The right wing faces the same problem, except it's the exact converse of that. Instead of wishing that we would pull out of Iran, Afghanistan, etc., and wishing we would go into Israel to not defend it, but rather to break it up, or to end whatever segregation may be going on there, the right wing believes that we should stay in these countries that we've entered. And they believe we should enter more. Both sides wish we would enter more countries. The only difference between right and left, and this goes beyond the war issue, but the only difference between right and left is the direction they want to go. But they're still going one basic direction. They're still moving backwards. They're still regressing. The progressive movement is not progressive merely because you say it's progressive. It's actually very much not. And the right-wing party is often called the conservative party because it is very conservative, very traditionalist. It's seeking to maintain habits and legal statutes that no longer work in the modern world. Neither of them want to try anything new, and they both want to maintain the status quo. Liberals want to restrict your freedom. They want to restrict how far you can move, what you can use to move there. They want to restrict what kind of foods you can eat. They want to restrict what kinds of money you can make. The right wants to restrict who you can marry. They want to restrict how much of anything you can buy and where you can buy it, and they want to restrict what you can use and cannot use in your own home, or even in public where the open air is free to remove whatever pollution you may create, whatever minor human inconvenience pollution you may create. Both of these parties want to restrict your freedom. Both of them want to oppress large numbers of people. And both of them have masses of support all across the country. The difference is the conservative right has more support in the countryside, in the heartland, and the so-called liberal left has more support in the big cities, in the population centers. And we're not going to get anywhere with these parties, because anytime someone tries to interject and add a third-party option, they're shut down without fail. Take Gary Johnson, for example, a libertarian hailing from New Mexico. Had he won the presidential race, perhaps we'd be looking at a much different America now. But we're not, because he didn't. We have another Republican shill. We have another Republican working for his own interests and for the interests of his party, not for the interests of all Americans. But there is a solution. But the sad part is, no one's willing to accept the solution. No one's even willing to pursue the solution. The solution, of course, is independence from these two parties, the addition of multiple other parties, and the reduction of federal power, and even of state power. And that's what the average American wants. If you talk to the average American, whether it be in St. Louis, or in Branson, or I'm just naming off Missouri cities, Kansas City, St. Louis, Branson, Park Hills, it doesn't matter. You talk to the average American, what they generally want is less government interference, more liberty, and a better life. Now, you'll find the occasional ones who do want the government to coddle them, but they are very few and far between. Generally, people want less interference from the state, because the American form of government has been revealed to be very ineffective. But people don't know that they want that. They think that they're going to get a utopian solution from people like Bernie Sanders, who offer up a utopian solution, or people like Donald Trump, who do the same thing. What they don't realize is that neither of these people will give them the utopia that they seek. Neither of these people will deliver them from their lives of abject misery. The only thing either of them will do is create more problems that no one will fix. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and remember to wash your teeth.